Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video. And go ahead and take a note of the old date. People, fire it down into the candles because what we're here to talk about today isn't a regular video or a part of a regular scheduled programming. Nah, I sit in front of thee, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely buzzing out my grey nasher completely, but there's also an added layer of disbelief mixed in the old tombola of feelings, and that's what's bringing you right now because the signing we have made is mental, ladies and gentlemen, because all the experts on both Twitter and Facebook let us know that we couldn't afford this deal, and we're told that the player wouldn't sign for us anyway, and somehow all the experts who's put the time, the effort and their life in to knowing every detail of our financial departments got it wrong, people, as we have not only have splashed the moolah and the cash, but the big man's now sitting here as the 8th summer signing slash 9th summer, depending on how you look at it. It's basically 8 or 9 summer signing of the actual window. And aye, people, before we go any further on, it's time to throw our arms out and welcome the Brazilian magician himself. Welcome, Big Danilo. And you know, before I even go anywhere, people, to sound like every guy that's ever been on a stag do, can I just see some Brazilians dancing just for 1 second, please? That's fine, that's enough. We're not going to get copyrighted here. That's good enough for me. Stop it, Dave. Stop it. Apologies, I'll try to contain myself, but it is obviously difficult because what we are seeing right here isn't just a signing, people, or a guy that's been added. This is a true marquee signing at the football club. There's already been money spent on strikers. We didn't need to go out and do this, ladies and gentlemen, or expect to go ahead and do this, but this player has become available and Bale has badly wanted him, and the club has delivered, and we've just added extra layer of sauce with true talent now to the attacking line, and we're going to speak about that more in the next couple of minutes. But just before we do, going further in, again, we are rapidly closing in on 60,000 subscribers, which is meant we may even hit it today based on this ridiculous signing in itself. So if you do find yourself at any point enjoying the content or enjoying myself, please consider hitting that like button or hitting that subscribe button, or if you'd rather wait to see if this video is worth hitting both for, that is absolutely fine. Let's strap ourselves in and try to earn it. But just like every other transfer that signed that contract and held the shirt up like this, we've already discussed the man, his player profile, his numbers right here on the old channel in terms of a rumour breakdown. But again, as I've said several times already this summer, I know not everybody watches that video. I mean, go and click on the Danilo video, the first part of that anyway, and see what the comments are. People aren't interested, they're not going to watch it because they didn't think it's going to happen, and that is fair enough, ladies and gentlemen. But as always, I'll try to bring and bridge the gap between those who don't watch the rumour videos and the channel legends who watch the rumour videos as well, so that every single person who's tuning in leaves today's video knowing not only a little bit more about our latest signing, but also more about where the club's actually headed, because to me, this is a genuine game changer. But before we speak about the game that's just been changed, let's speak about the signing itself then, shall we? Again, we didn't always go into exact fees here, right here in the football club, because again, you never really find out what it is. I mean, every club's pretty much undisclosed FC these days, so is it 5, 6, 7 million euros with add-ons here, there? It's boring looking at all that stuff, people. All we know is there was moolah that needed to be spent and Rangers negotiated and Bale got his man after a bit of a lengthy negotiation. So it's fair to say the moolah was well spent, and if the big man is getting the wages that's rumoured to be out there, he will be the highest paid player at the football club, and that for me is a true statement from this board. And I know there'll be a lot of people like me feels like this should have been happening years ago, ladies. Just after we won the league, this is when we realised should have done this summer. We've done this a couple seasons ago, and I understand all that frustration, but we need to move on. There's new people in positions now. Some people that was criticised for getting into these positions, but for me, looking at the outlay, everything that's been done, not only in terms of transfers, but what they're trying to do with the fans and everything like that, just being more open, I could not be happier about where we're heading as a football club. And I'll look at what we've done this summer and the transfers that's actually been okayed and the deal that's been done, because again, we have spent money on Lammers and Dessers and everything like that. That's a lot of money spent in the attacking situation in terms of strikers, if you will. They could have just said, nah, we didn't need a Danilo or anything like, we've got these, we've spent money on this, and we would have accepted it, moved on. But they're trying to push this club and get it to what it can possibly be, and that's the best in all areas. So it's not just good at one thing or one of this, they want to attack in all areas. So I'm quick to criticise, and I have been over the years right here on the channel, but I'll hold my hands up and say this is exactly what I was hoping for, and I love the business that's been done from the old board. And they went ahead and got a true talisman and a new star player at Rangers. No pressure, Mr. Danilo.
Nah, I need to see it again. This guy just... Honestly, you've got to respect it.
It is quite funny, man, the way we're all absolutely buzzing about this laddie and the money we've spent and the outlay that we've done. This guy pretty much needs to be the R9 we thought we were getting in the late 90s, people. That's the type of pressure that's on this laddie. But I think if you look at him, and we did obviously do that in the previous video, he certainly has everything in his box to become a massive success here. And again, we'll touch on that in more detail. But let's talk about the position then, shall we? Because that's going to be the biggest talking point. Now that he's here, with the outlay that was spent on the Dessers, the Lamas, the Seamas, and everything that's been done in the attacking players that has been brought in, how do we fit all these players in? Is Dessers now going to be dropped? Is Lammers going to be dropped now for Danilo? What's actually going on there? For me, in my personal opinion, the reason I call him a true game changer is he will play in there, and so will the other two, and I really feel like they are all going to play together. And I think it all comes down to not only his nationality, which is obviously Brazilian, but what Michael Beale wants from his attack inside. He spoke about it a hell of a lot. We touched on it in the last video as well. He wants a positionalist type football club. Now I know that's quite frustrating to hear, because of what just happened a couple of days ago in our last actual pre-season friendly, when it did look positionalist, but a lot of that was down to players not doing their jobs and everything like that. It's still pre-season, but when you hear Dessers talk about it in interviews, when you hear Michael Beale talking about it, I think you can really see that. And it doesn't matter if Danilo lines up on the right, Lammers on the left, Big Des up top, you can see them interchanging and swapping constantly to be a free-flowing attacking side, which is exactly what Michael Beale spoke about wanting to build and what he learned in his time in Brazil. And this, for me, is his true talisman to make all that tick, because again, I said it in the last video, I'll say it again, this laddie has more positions in the Karma Sutra, but when he plays on the park, he will go to find the ball and find the space that maybe doesn't look like it exists, but he will go and find it. And I think you could see that way a lot of Lammers drop him into space and want again, and when that starts to build in and when that starts to cook, I think we'll finally have a Ranger side that's built to attack, not to keep the ball, not to recycle possession and play to fullbacks, but to have a side that is genuinely built from back to front to go ahead and attack. And that's whether it is a 4-3-3 on paper, a 4-3-1-2, a 1-1-8. I've seen it all listed online, and I agree with everything, but I think you'll see all three of them playing together. That is the team. Again, Sima is obviously a very talented player, but he's not our player spent money. He's a lone player, and I think he will play his part, but that is the 3-star attackers, and I see them all playing together. Right foot, left foot, it doesn't matter for the Brazilian magician. He just likes to ping shots, and now I can finally talk about it because he's been rattling goals left, right and centre in terms of pre-season. So if you're wondering where he's going to be in terms of, because we've only got one more pre-season game and then obviously Kilmarnock, where is he going to be in that? Is it going to be miles behind? Is it going to take him a month? No, he is red hot and firing and scoring screamers every single week for Feyenoord, which was actually starting to stress me. I was a bit like, go stop scoring, or they'll end up keeping you, obviously, after his successful campaign and helping them win things last year. But the boy is now ours, and he joins after playing 48 games in total for Feyenoord last season, in which he had 14 goals and 4 assists, which is again 18 goal contributions in the 48, which may not jump out to you and tell you exactly, oh, that is a bona fide bagsman, but again, you have to look into the circumstances of what he was played, joining a new team, getting asked a slightly different role. He was a lot more creative last year than maybe just an out-and-out striker, which again, why I think he will fit in this Michael Beale philosophy as well, because he loves to get on the ball, he loves to be the assist to the assist. He just lives and breathes getting on the ball and making things tick. And if you look at Rangers, even in this pre-season and over the last couple of years, sometimes we've been lacking that player that just wants on the ball and who just wants to dominate. I think we've got it in Cantwell now. Raskin's a very similar player. I've been very impressed with Lammers so far as well, but Danilo is definitely that guy that will want the ball, and if there's a shot to be taken in the 89th minute for 35 yards out, the big man won't shy away for the moment, and I think we've needed that attitude and that style and almost arrogance in a way. But I know there's genuine stat lovers out there and they want some sexy numbers and some sexy stats, especially with the moolah that's been played. Well, the year before for Ajax, he played 26 games in all competitions in which he had 15 goals and 5 assists. 20 goal contributions in 26 is certainly something I can get behind. However, it is worth mentioning, as we like to go a wee bit deeper in here, he did play 9 times in total out of those 26 playing for Ajax B. Now, you can say what you want or anything like that, you can try and talk up, it's still a B league to me, so I didn't like to dive too much into it. I know it's very spoke about and it's very highly revered over there, but it's still B football. So if you take those 9 games away in which he had 7 goals and 4 assists, if you look at his season before for Ajax playing at the top division for the Ajax first team, he still had 9 goal contributions out of 17 games, and that for me again is still a very tasty little thing, and the year before was just as impressive as well for FC20. As the big man played 34 games for the Dutch side, scoring 17 goals and grabbing 5 assists, and you start to paint all that together and you start to push it and you see when this guy starts, he scores or assists. He is a genuine game changer, and he showed that over his time in the Dutch division, which is obviously a much tougher division than what you'll be facing week in or week out in the SPFL. And if you look at his entire career just at the top division in Dutch football, despite just being 24, he's averaged a goal or assist throughout his entire time at the top division in Holland every 2.1 matches, which is absolutely sensational, especially when you consider he's never always been a nailed on starter at these clubs, because he's been club to club to club, winning, playing here, getting a move, playing here, getting a move, and that's what's actually been happening in his career. And hopefully now he comes up here, wins things as well. Will he be here 5-6 years? Probably not, ladies and gentlemen, but will we enjoy him while he's here? Fingers crossed, and hopefully brings that winning mentality and obviously the sauce that he's had in every single week, because again, even the season before at Feyenoord, where the numbers might not jump out, if you search the guy's name, look at what the fans are saying. They're absolutely fuming that this guy is being left to leave this football club, because again, fans will tell you the truth about players, and they're absolutely gutted about him leaving the football club, because they see what he does in the ball, how much he gets involved, how much he brings others into play. And I do genuinely think, despite Feyenoord obviously moving on and bringing in all the big names to replace the lad, I think they will miss just the way he likes to get on the ball and dictate the players. I think he was very underrated for them, in my opinion, but their loss will be our gain, I'm sure of it. And honestly, that's kind of it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm absolutely buzzing with this one. I think you'll be able to tell it. And I'm just so excited about us from middle to front now looking at this Rangers team, because if you compare us now to where we are, to what we were over the last couple of years, this midfield three of Cervantes, again, he'll be signed, and I'll be speaking about him very shortly right here on the channel, playing alongside Raskin and Cantwell. That midfield three, people, when they're all fit and firing, that we'll be discussing, especially when you look at on front of them now, when you've got Dessers, Lammers and Danilo all just chopping and changing and going everywhere, creating space, creating gaps for the midfield runners to run into. It could be a disgusting season, ladies and gentlemen, and I think as a Rangers fan I can sit here and be very excited, and the fact that I'll no need to worry now. Is it going to be the 3-month spell where Morelos scares and actually puts the ball into the back of net? Is Ryan Kent going to be able to hit a barn door with a shotgun? It's no if now the goals are going to come, in my opinion. It's just who is actually going to be bringing it in, because there is so much attacking talent now at the disposal of Michael Beale. It's on him to get them all on the park and day hangs, and hopefully improve the defence a little bit as well, but we'll speak about that in the next week or two. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm absolutely buzzing. What about you? Sorry, I can't even speak anymore. Let me know you down in the comment section below your thoughts and opinions on the true marquee signing, in my opinion, the biggest signing, the biggest expenditure for a good reason. We as a football club have just got our new talisman over the next year or two, and that's all I've got to say. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section below, and as always, I've been Sage and thank you so much for watching. All the best, and bye bye.